the first thing you should know about me is that I'm not a dramatic man. I'm Arthur. I'm 55 years old. I've worked the same job for 3 decades, paid my bills on time, and believed, stubbornly, foolishly, that loyalty was something you built like a house, brick by brick, year by year. I believed that if you kept showing up, the roof wouldn't collapse. I was wrong. The night everything unraveled didn't begin with shouting or tears. It began with silence. The kind of silence that hums, thick and uncomfortable, like the air before a storm. My wife, Linda, was in the shower. The bathroom mirror was fogged, the exhaust fan whining like it had a complaint it couldn't quite voice. I stood alone in our bedroom holding her phone. I hadn't meant to look. That's the truth. I was plugging it into the charger because she'd left it dying on the nightstand again. The screen lit up with a notification before I could turn it away. Can't stop thinking about earlier, same place tomorrow. No name, just a number. I stared at it longer than I should have, long enough for the message to sink its teeth into me. Tomorrow. Earlier. My chest tightened. Not anger yet. First came confusion. Then that cold, sliding realization that something I thought was solid had quietly rotted underneath me. I didn't confront her, not that night. I've learned that when your world cracks, rushing only makes the damage worse. I needed to know the truth, all of it. So I waited. Over the next 2 weeks, I became someone I barely recognized. I noticed things, small things. Linda's sudden gym classes that ran late. The way she guarded her phone like it held state secrets. The new lingerie I hadn't seen, and definitely hadn't seen her wear for me. 55 years old, and I felt like a stranger in my own marriage. The confirmation came on a Thursday afternoon. I had left work early with a migraine. The house was quiet when I arrived, too quiet. Linda had told me she'd be out shopping. Her car wasn't in the driveway. I went to the laundry room to grab medication from the cabinet. That's when I saw it, a small bag tucked behind the detergent. Not ours, not something we'd ever used together. I didn't open it right away. I didn't need to. The truth had weight. It pressed on my ribs, squeezed the breath from my lungs. I sat on the edge of the washing machine and laughed, a short, broken sound that surprised even me. 32 years of marriage, reduced to a hidden bag and anonymous messages. I put everything back exactly where I found it. And then something in me hardened. Betrayal does strange things to a person. Some people explode, some collapse. I went quiet, methodical. I wanted answers, but more than that, I wanted accountability. I followed her the next Tuesday. She kissed my cheek that morning, said she'd be late again. Spin class, she smiled. I waited 15 minutes, then took my car. She didn't go anywhere near a gym. She parked behind a small medical office complex across town. One of those anonymous buildings with frosted windows and too many parking spaces. I stayed 2 rows back, heart pounding so hard I thought it might give me away. Then I saw him. Mid-40s, confident posture, wedding ring conspicuously absent. He leaned into her car window, smiling like he already owned something that belonged to me. They walked inside together. I didn't follow, I didn't need to. That was the moment something snapped, not loudly, not violently, but cleanly, like a rope finally giving way. I drove home numb. Revenge is often painted as explosive, screaming matches, public scenes. I didn't want that. I wanted consequences. I wanted the truth dragged into the light so bright it couldn't hide. The opportunity came a week later. Linda left early again, humming to herself, careless in the way people get when they think they're clever. She forgot something, her overnight bag. I stood in the doorway, staring at it. Inside were clothes, makeup, and that same small item I'd seen before. I didn't plan it at first. I swear I didn't. But anger has a way of whispering suggestions that sound like logic when you're hurting. I didn't replace it with anything dangerous. I didn't want harm. I wanted interruption, exposure. I made the swap, closed the bag, and sat at the kitchen table shaking for a long time afterward. Then I waited. The call came that evening. I didn't recognize the number. When I answered, all I heard at first was shouting, confused voices, panic. "Is this Arthur?" a woman asked sharply. "Yes." "This is County General. Your wife has been admitted. There's been an incident." My stomach dropped. "Is she hurt?" A pause, then carefully. "No permanent injuries, but the situation is complicated." I drove to the hospital in a fog. In the emergency waiting area, I saw them before anyone spoke to me. Linda sat rigid in a wheelchair, face flushed with fury and humiliation. Beside her, far too close, was him, the man from the parking lot. His confidence had evaporated. He looked like a child caught stealing. A doctor approached me, voice low and professional, explaining just enough. A misunderstanding, an unfortunate accident, a substance that was not what it was assumed to be. I nodded silent. Linda's eyes locked onto mine then. If looks could kill, I wouldn't be standing here. They were separated eventually, after a long, mortifying process that drew far more attention than either of them wanted. Hospital staff whispered. Curtains rustled. The truth seeped out despite everyone's efforts to contain it. Betrayal doesn't like staying secret. The aftermath was uglier than the incident itself. Linda screamed at me in the parking lot, accused me of cruelty, of humiliation, of crossing a line. I didn't raise my voice. "You crossed it first," I said quietly. The man disappeared from her life that night. Whether out of shame or fear, I'll never know. What I do know is that the marriage was already over long before glue, doctors, or hospital lights entered the story. We separated within a month. The divorce was cold and efficient. No dramatic speeches, just paperwork and 32 years reduced to signatures and boxes. People ask me sometimes if I regret it. Here's the truth. I regret trusting someone who had already decided I didn't matter. I regret ignoring the quiet signs. I regret believing loyalty was automatic instead of earned daily. But the moment that exposed everything. No, I don't regret the truth coming out. I live alone now, smaller place, quieter. Some nights the silence still aches, but it's honest silence. I've learned something important at 55. Betrayal thrives in secrecy. It feeds on politeness, on looking the other way, on the fear of making waves. The moment it's exposed, it shrivels. I didn't destroy my marriage. The lies did. I just turned the lights on.